Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. I'm welcoming those of you who watch this by video each day, and also the listeners of UCB Radio who listen to this on their radio through the audio transmission as well. Today I want to speak about another man of God, another committed Christian, another servant of Christ, who decided that his insatiable curiosity to discover more about God's creation could indeed lead to useful results because of his belief that God is a God of order, that the universe is not just a chaotic lump of things floating around, but because there is a God of order and there is a plan and a purpose to his creation, and therefore we can discover how it works and what is contained within it. And today I want to talk about a guy called Joseph Lister, because doctors used to think that so many surgical patients died after their surgery because of the air. That they said there's bad air, and that is around sickness, and so when we operate on people, that's why they get sick and get infections and die. It's the bad air. Now, the fact was that they were using surgical instruments that were not properly cleaned. Sometimes they weren't even washed at all between operation on one person and the next person. Dirty hospitals, but wards that weren't cleaned properly. You know, people were dying from dirt. They were dying from germs. And the doctors didn't understand this. They thought it was bad air. And of course, we know that Louis Pasteur, a committed Catholic Christian, was the one who first really discovered and made that connection about germs and microbes and viruses. Now, Joseph Lister actually wanted to be a pastor, but his father saw the young boy's fascination with biology and medicine and convinced him that it was perfectly possible for him to serve God as a doctor. And like Edward Jenner and Louis Pasteur, Lister wanted to know more about God's wonderful creation. And based on Pasteur's theory of microbes and germs, Lister thought, you know what? If I could somehow sterilize and clean these surgical instruments and the surfaces in the operating room and in all the environment in the hospital, then surely that would reduce these germs and stop so many people getting sick after operations and dying. And so he developed a solution of diluted carbolic acid and began to sterilize stuff. And it had amazing results. Less and less people were dying. And he had a lot of opposition from other doctors because people don't like change sometimes. But gradually people came to realize that Pasteur was correct and Lister was correct, that these great Christian men were indeed onto something by studying God's creation. In fact, Joseph Lister was asked to treat Queen Victoria. She had an abscess underneath her armpit, an abscess the size of an orange. And so Joseph Lister went and he disinfected everything. He accidentally squirted his disinfectant in Queen Victoria's face, and apparently she was not amused. But anyway, he then lanced the abscess with a knife. And ever after, every time Joseph Lister was training medical students, he used to begin by introducing himself as probably the only man who had ever stuck a knife into Queen Victoria whenever he lanced the abscess. But of course, she recovered with no infection because of the power of antiseptic and disinfectant. And even today, Joseph Lister, Listerine mouthwash is named in honor of him and of his great discovery of disinfectant, antiseptic, and sterilization. And you know, we think about that every time. Every time you have to put that hand sanitizer on your hands. You know, don't you, oh gosh, here we go again. My hands are so dry. I'm sick of this thing. But say, thank God for men like Joseph Lister and the lives that have been saved because of their curiosity to understand the creation of God. And Joseph Lister once said this to a graduating class of medical students. He said, "It is our proud office to tend the fleshly tabernacle of the immortal spirit, and our path, if rightly followed, will be guided by unfettered truth and love unfeigned. In pursuit of this noble and holy calling, I wish you all God speed. I thank God today for faith. I thank him for science. I thank him for medical expertise. And I thank him for the power of Jesus to heal. Joseph Lister understood that this body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, and his Christian faith led to medical developments which have saved so many lives without ever losing his faith in Jesus Christ. Today, let's walk in faith and let's walk in common sense. God bless you. Join us again for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock, Drogheda.